start with you.
Am I good?
Yeah. We'll start with you, and then we'll get the players.
Perfect.
Yeah, congratulations.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, a little bit of an audible. We're going to go to Coach first, and then we'll bring in the players. Coach, congratulations on winning the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. So,
Thank you.
Opening comments.
Yeah, it was a great game. Players played really well. I mean, our players are good. And they're good people. It's a good combination.
All right. We're going to open it up for questions. If you would, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Again, if you would tell us who you're with, and we're going to start right here on the second row, right here in the second row, right here in the middle.
Stephen Johnson, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. First off, congratulations, Coach. After the performance today, do you think this team is worthy of a first-round bye in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think if the judging, last year they left a team out because of a quarterback. And I think, our play, we're 11-1 with our starting quarterback, having beat 4 ranked teams, having won the Big 12 championship. So I do think because of the, we've made a standard that the quarterback is that valuable. I think should be a real chance that we get a first-round bye, and I definitely think we should host a game.
Good, and raise your hand. We're going to come here to the middle. We're going to go 4 rows back here in the middle.
Sean Gerardi from CBS Sports. Coach, I just wanted to ask you about Cam Skattebo. What has he meant to this team, and especially heading into this matchup where you don't have Jordan Tyson, that a lot's going to be on him. How did he kind of prepare for what was needed of him?
He prepared the exact same way he always prepares. So mature. He's grown up so much this year. You could see the speed there throughout the game, which he didn't have last year, but that's just the work that he put in to get to that point. But he prepared like he always prepared, and a whole bunch of people stepped up. That was the best part about tonight on offense, was not just one person stepped up. X stepped up. Stovall stepped up. The O-line stepped up. Sam Levitt's continuing to be an unbelievable football player and the future of Sun Devil football. Shamal Mateer stepped up. I could go on a list of offensive players, and then the defense gets 3 takeaways to start the second half on their side of the field. Like, are you kidding me? It's kind of like a scene from a movie.
All right, Coach, we're going to go in the front row, right here on the left.
Chris Cartman, Sun Devil Source. Kenny, have you seen a team improve as much as this one has from the beginning of the year to the end? You talked about wanting to see your team blow out opponents, which hadn't happened until the last 2 weeks, and then you did that easily.
Yeah, it's been great to see our guys play better in the second half. They took it kind of personal after week 11 when we let another team come back. They took it personal that they wanted to start finishing games better, and they've been harping on it. They've been talking about it, and they've been kind of living it, not just, rah-rah, but like real focus in the locker room at halftime that we got to come out and play a good second half. So the growth on this team is remarkable. I've never been a part of a team that's grown this much.
Coach, we're going to go on the far right, 4 rows back.
Kenny Scott Bordeaux, ESU News.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You're Kenny Scott Bordeaux, ESU News, to your right. Back here.
Oh, sorry.
You came here hoping this was possible. Did you think it could happen this quickly?
No. To be honest, we just got 2 really good players. That helps. He did. He's got way more belief than I believe. Like I said, these guys are why we're good.
All right, we're going to go far left, 3rd row back.
Hey, Coach. Daniel Rios, State Press. Earlier in the first half, you guys faced a similar situation that you guys did in your first conference game, 4th and 1 in your own territory. And, both plays, you guys decided to do a shot play. Can you kind of just go into the decision-making and just the difference between then and now with the confidence in your guys?
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. That was Coach Royo. He called it, and I was like, oh, crap. All right, bud, let's do it. You watch more film than me when it comes to offense right now. I trust it. I trust our quarterback. I trust our players, and he thought that was the best call for that situation. And I almost wanted to say, just hand it to Scat, just hand it to Scat. But I trusted him. I trusted our quarterback, and incredible play call, incredible execution, great pickup up front, great throw by Sam. That's just game-changing play right there.
Coach, stay in the front row right here in the middle.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Robert Aronoff, Sons of UCF. The question is, what did you the competition you faced in the Big 12 this year, What do you think that did to prepare you for the extended competition you're going to see in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really deep league. Every single week, anybody can beat anybody. And that's the part about this league that makes it difficult to get through it unscathed, is you go to real college environments. All of the environments you play on the road are real environments. Like our Texas Tech loss on the road was a real environment, first away, Big 12 game. And then we go on the road at Cincinnati's homecoming without our starting quarterback, which is a real environment. Then you go to Kansas State after they have a bye. That's a real environment. So I just think the difficulty is not just the teams, but it's the environments you go into as well, which is why the Big 12 consistently, people lose 1 or 2 games in the league because it's just so competitive.
Coach, we're going to go 4 rows back on the left, back over here. You have a question still? Yep.
Hey, Coach. Kenneth Berry, Touchdowns and Tangents. In just all your years of being in this profession, and obviously it's still a really young team, but the seniors kind of left things where they left it. How do you see the future of this program just based on how fast the young guys caught on to your message? And has it surprised you that they caught on this fast?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have great leadership. I think our leadership council, our players, the guys up here next to me, they're just unbelievable competitors, unbelievable leaders. And when your players run your program, you're good, right? You can force coach-led leadership, which is needed at times, right? But at the same token, if your players aren't feeding and your rest of your team the same vision, the same message, you're only going to be capped at how good you can be. And I think these guys have an unbelievable maturity about themselves to lead their team. I mean, what other team has their players giving pregame and halftime speeches, right? And that's not fake. That's just what our team has.
Coach, front row right here in the middle.
Coach, Matthew Postins, Heartland College Sports. 2 weeks ago, Javon made a big play for you against BYU. He sparked you guys in the second half with that turnover. How did that it seemed like that was just a snowball effect after that turnover. And what did that turnover mean to you guys that early in the third quarter?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, to get the takeaway and then the offense go back and score. But the thing that was exciting about that was it was the response in the second half to come out fast. It was a few adjustments we made defensively to combat their check with me stuff. And the fact that our guys could go out there, take what we took at halftime, apply it work, and then them capitalize on it. And then our offense go and capitalize. That's just a really good team football. That's what good teams do. They play off each other.
All right, we're going to go 6 rows back here on the right along the aisle.
Y'all are asking the wrong person the questions. These two are the people that played.
We'll
They
get the
just stand
players.
there.
We'll get the players here in a sec, Coach.
Jacob Saliga, Arizona Varsity. Kenny, when you go back and reflect to your time when you first got here in November of 2022, guys like Trent Bourget, Caleb McCullough, guys like that who trusted you and stayed through the process, what does it say about those guys believing in you and believing in what you were building to get to this point now?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch those guys celebrate today. Trenton went out on the field and took the knee there at the end, which is pretty cool. Talk about a full circle career for him. And then Caleb to just continue to make plays. He could be one of the most improved players on our football team. From where he was 24 months ago to where he is now is just incredible. But those guys that stuck with it, they just believed in the vision. Even though, it's hard to believe when you're not very good and you're 3-9. I mean, not many people believe with that, but we had a sense of belief because of like I said, the guys next to me, the leaders on our football team, created a sense of belief with the work that they put in.
All right, we're going to go all the way back on the riser.
Hey, Kenny, Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. If you could have a last-minute message to the playoff committee, what would it be?
Yeah, I would just say, these guys have worked so hard. These guys have accomplished things that I don't know if any team's ever accomplished, being picked 16th out of 16th and then winning a championship. We're 11-1 with this kid to my left. We're Big 12 champs when he's on the field, right? And I think if you were to look at our resume with Sam Levitt as our starting quarterback, I think you can really look deep and hard to see where we stand with champions, where we stand with conference champions, because we've already made the decision that quarterbacks are very, very important to the college football committee. Well, I think it's time to double down on how important the quarterback is and look back at our season as our quarterback played.
All right, Coach, we're going to go to the second row on the aisle right here.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Howard, Cronkite News. it really felt like at the end of the first half, you guys got going on defense a bit more, getting a couple stops, and all of a sudden in the second half, you got 3 consecutive turnovers. And I remember earlier in the year you talked about you want to keep attack. What changed going from halftime to the second half that allowed you to gain that momentum and just completely swing this game in a different direction?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought they had a really good plan early. A lot of check with me's, a lot of getting themselves into good plays, good numbers. And then I think Coach Ward did a really nice job combating it. And then I think our players, right, got comfortable. Early, you're one of the best, if not one of the best stadiums in the country, right, that we're playing in. Most of our kids, or a lot of our kids, are from Texas, right? They dreamt of playing the Big 12 title game. To say there's not going to be a little bit of nerves is a little delusional, right? There's going to be a little bit of nerves. It's what they dreamt of. So I think they calmed down a little bit. I think we made some adjustments as a staff, and then I think they went out and executed the rest of the game. It started at the end of the first half, and I think it continued through the third quarter.
All right, Coach, we're going to go 6 rows back on the right side.
Kenny, Chris Vanini from The Athletic. What can you say about the way Cam played today and in the end of the season, and do you think he should be in New York for the Heisman ceremony?
I do think he should be. Turn on the tape. He's really good. He's good enough to be there. I don't know what he finished up with today. He was 0 for 1 passing. He was 2 catches, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. He basically had 200 yards of total offense and 3 touchdowns. That's incredible. I think that's his 3rd time in a row. He's gone for over 100 yards and multiple touchdowns in a first half, potentially. I don't know what else you can do to put your name in the race. And obviously, there's 2 other guys that are really, really high on that list. And I don't know if he should ever surpass those guys. But should he be on that list? Should he have the opportunity to go there? Yes.
Coach, we're going to go 3rd row on the left, 4 seats in. Here.
Hi, Kenny. Doug Haller with The Athletic. You've always been so much about process, focusing on one week to the next. But can you please just describe when you guys got the ball back with 2 minutes left and you just started making your way around the sideline, just hugging people and congratulating people, what that feeling was like?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. The process was over. We got the job done. And it's just a pretty cool moment to see those guys.
All right, we got time for 2 more questions. We're going to go 2nd row right here in the middle.
Kenny Elliott, Polikoff, Arizona's family. Can you take me through a little bit about that Scadaboo pass, what was going through your head? And Sam, if you want to chime in too, kind of what were your thoughts on that?
I'll take it. Don't do it. That was pretty much going through my head. But that's what makes Scat, is he does incredible things. And you know what? To his credit, they pan out. I don't know how. Last year, we called a punt with him as our quarterback because it was an absolute amazing situation we were in last year. And he checks a throw to Elijah Badger, and it's complete. And I'm like, what just happened? Is this real life? But that's Scat. It defines Scat. He's just one of those guys that he works so hard, he finds a way to be successful. But what was going through my head was, oh my gosh, this is not good. This is not good. Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And then it was incomplete. I was like, holy cow.
Coach, we're going to finish with you with the last question here on the aisle in the 3rd row.
Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. First of all, congratulations. What does this moment mean for longtime Sun Devil fans? What does this moment mean for people who've been with the program from the Cush era all the way up to now, knowing that the job isn't finished, but what does this moment mean?
Yeah, I think it just shows what we can be, and with the right direction, with the right players who are committed to the program and committed to the work, I think you can achieve anything here. I've always thought that, people have always said this place is a, sleeping giant. Well, you're not a sleeping giant, right? If you never wake up, you're a dead giant, right? And it just hasn't woken up for so long. And I think finally, these guys have really bought in to not just Arizona State, to the city, to the community, the weather. They're over here talking about the weather the other day. It's like they've bought into everything that the Valley, Tempe, Arizona State has to offer, and I think that's what's special. Is these guys are just members of the people. They love it there, and I think that's special.
Coach, thank you. We're going to let you go, and we'll get the players up here. And
Sounds
finish
good.
Our time. Thank you so much. All right. Xavier, we'll go ahead and have you come on up. Good timing. Cam, come on, grab a seat.
What's up, what? What's up, what? Here you go.
All right, again, if you would, when you get the microphone comes to you, identify yourself, and for the transcriptionist, identify who you're asking the question to. That would be helpful, and we'll get a microphone to you. All right, guys, we're ready. We're going to start right here on the second row, 2 in.
Hi, Hood Rubino, Devil's Digest. This is a question for Xavier. This had to be like a whole redemption tour for you after being denied by the NCAA eligibility last year. Just talk about what are your feelings right now. I mean, you definitely put in, the work and the sacrifices to be where you're at right now.
Man, it's a surreal feeling. I can't put any words on it. I'm just blessed to be in this room, be up here next to these 3 guys, be on this team. But when I made the switch, I want to credit Coach Dillingham and the whole staff, the university, because they took a chance on me out the portal, knowing that I could be, ineligible. And when that news came back, nothing changed. The only thing changed that was I couldn't play. So, these guys, they stuck by me the whole year, motivated me, kept me going, each and every day. I showed up in the building even though I knew I couldn't play. And, it's just a blessing because, we all talked about winning the championship, and we knew we could do it. We put the belief in each other. So whenever I was granted eligible and the next year came, it was a clean slate. I could sit and pout about it, or I could be ready for when this moment's here. So it's just a blessing to be here. I just can't put any words on it, really. Can't put any words on it.
All right, guys, we're going to stay on the right side here. We're going to you. Here on the right. Yep, you.
Hey, Xavier, Jake Sullen, Devil's Digest. You've played state championships in this stadium, and now to do it in front of your friends and family at the collegiate level, what does that mean to you, just being a kid from Texas?
Man, it means a lot. You see this game a lot growing up, and, you dream of playing in it. And, you see this stadium a lot, you dream of playing it. I got to play in it twice before now, in the high school level. And, it's just nothing but God that I got to do it again, third time. Last time I was in here, confetti was raining. So I took that as a sign that, this time same thing would happen, especially with these guys and the belief that we had on the team. Coming into this game, whole week, we knew that, we could win this game. And I told them that, everything we've been doing the whole year, our culture has been a championship culture. Even though we don't say that, even though we don't say, championship culture, but we have been building, a championship team this whole year. And to come out, and finish it off like that, to continue pressing and twist the knife, not be done, just show that, we're here to work. And we just going to be here, regardless of, who believes in us, who not, each and every week, each and every day. We could be. We love being the underdog as well. We love when we see that outside on the media. We feel like we're in our place. So just coming in here is just a blessing to be on this team with these guys.
All right, we're going to stay along the aisle here. Go 4 rows back on the aisle.
Shahan Gerard from CBS Sports. This is for Sam. I'm curious, can you tell me a little bit about how Cam is on the sidelines, especially when you guys aren't in the game? I mean, what's he kind of like?
Yeah, he's a little bit of a spaz, But, he's just talking over scheme and telling me what he sees on the field and exactly what he's thinking, and talk about a super cerebral player. He's one of the best that I've played with, just minds, if not the best. I think back to his little run around and throw. And, I shouldn't have done that probably, but he knew where I was at, so it wasn't going to be intentional grounding, so it was actually a super smart play.
Smart play.
And then
Smart play.
But the kid's just he's unreal. So,
all right, guys, we're going to go on the right-hand side, 6 rows back to Chris.
Cam, Chris Vannini with The Athletic. You were having a lot of your teammates sign your belt after you got that. Why'd you want to do that?
My O-line, because we wouldn't be in this position if we didn't have them. Me and this guy right here were scoring touchdowns. Those guys have put in the effort to get better every day. And you see it week in and week out. They just get better and better and better. And I don't know how many yards I have this season, but they're the reason for it. And, even being in the Heisman talk is awesome. And those are that's the reason. Those guys up front, and I just want to keep spreading love to those guys because they deserve it.
All right, guys, we're going to go 8 rows back on the far left side.
Cam, Phil Woodall, KPUR in Amarillo, Texas. Playing at a
non-power 4 conference or a smaller school, something like that. What did that do for you to make that transition to a power 4 conference and become a better player?
I mean, I had coaches at that level that were better than that level, and they developed me to become to the level that I'm playing at now. And coming to this school at ASU and having Coach Iguano and Coach Dillingham and those guys also pushing me and making me better because they know what it takes to be successful at this level. I mean, I've been set up for success because the beloved coaches that I have and the teammates I have that trust me and believe in me. And the reason I'm here is because of them.
All right, we're going to go back here on the left side, 4 rows back.
Kenneth Berry, touchdowns and tangents. For Sam and Xavier, obviously, you know, DB quarterback, when that targeting play kind of happened, what were both your initial reactions and what was your reaction to the explanation of why it was targeting and why you got ejected?
Honestly, with all the different types of targeting, I thought that was a pretty clean hit. You know, his head was up. I just think it's football. You know, it happens. Obviously, you know, we can't really, you know, we don't really have an outcome on that. We can control, but you know, obviously Shamari is in good spirits, and you know, we just next man up. You know, we just keep that next man up mentality throughout the whole team. You know, even you know, offensively, like you know, everybody talked about, you know, we had a JT, you know, go down, but you know, the offense was the offense. You know, we believe they did what they do. Like they score points, you know, Scat, Sam, X, you know, all the receivers, everybody stepped up. Like we're one team, and that's the thing about this team. Like we just together, and you know, until that 60 minutes, you know, is a race off the clock. You know, we're gonna play as hard as we can, and just compete. That's all.
All right, we're going to go to the very last row along the aisle.
This question's for Sam. Nick Robbins, Everything College Football Podcast. On the 4th and 1 in the first half, you guys were deep in your own territory. What did you see in the build-up to that play that led you guys to go out and gamble on there? That's a tough decision to make. What was the discussion and lead-up, and ultimately the play turned into a big gain, and what was the reaction after that?
Yeah, we knew on 3rd and 4th and 1 they were either going to play cover 1 or play cover 0, essentially, whether that was all-out or zero rat. So we knew we were going to have a little stutter and go. If we gave big action, we got number 4 in the backfield, you know, so everybody's got to account for him. So I just gave good action, pulled the safety down, and then Melquan was able to give a little bluff and go and just take off down the field. And, I mean, you know, great call by Arroyo. You know, I was pretty shocked he called it that early in the game, but we practiced it all week. When we were successful, we were 100% throughout the week on it. You know, so just, you know, big-time players make big-time plays and those kind of moments, you know, and essentially I'd call Arroyo a player for that.
All right, we're going to go second row, second seat in here on the left side, guys.
Hey, Cam, this is Sammy Newt, Cronkite Sports. You broke out the Heisman celebration today for the first time this season, and you got to do it 3 times. Can you go into your reasoning on why you decided to hit the pose today?
Because I've been disrespected my whole life. I've always been the underdog, and nobody respects the fact that I'm the best running back in the country. And I'm going to stand on that. And if people want to disrespect that, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep proving people wrong. And whatever NFL team takes me is going to get a gem, and I'm going to give it everything I got for them. And no matter winning the Heisman or losing the Heisman, I should still be in that situation.
All right, we're going to go all the way in the back on the far right side, second to last row.
Chris Cartman, son of a source. Cam, you're the second over here. You're 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Never happened in ASU history, and Kenny Dillingham's coached 2 of those players, one in 2018. What is it about this scheme that helps enable your position to be so successful?
I mean, there's so many options you can do with me. The receivers don't get the option to run the ball. They have to catch the ball for the most part, you know. And I get the option to catch the ball in the backfield, run the ball, throw the ball possibly, kick the ball possibly. I have that option because I'm back there with the quarterback. And, I mean, I'm just blessed to be in this position. He understands what he has back there, and Coach Arroyo uses me to his max potential. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I stayed, because I knew that I was in a good position to be successful. And I love playing for this football team.
All right, guys, we're going to come right here to the front row, right in the middle.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. This is for Xavier. We all talked about Jordan Tyson going down and what a blow that was. So can you kind of talk about getting your chance and really stepping up and helping?
Yeah, we knew last game when he went down. First of all,
besides just being a teammate, that's our brother. So, you know, it hurt a lot to see that he all the work that he had put in, he wasn't going to play with us. But we knew when one man goes down, somebody had to step up, and we all collectively as a group, I feel like, chipped in from top to bottom. We had Malik, who's out since week 4, came in, made a great play down the field, and it's just trust. You know, we work with Sam every single day, so there's that trust. Like when one man goes down, we feel confident the next guy's gonna step up, and you know, Melquan had some great plays today, and then from top to bottom, I was just proud about how everybody reacted to, you know, the pressure situation. You know, Big 12 championship, nobody, you know, tucked their tail, and we all, you know, stepped up to the challenge, and I was really proud of how everybody reacted.
All right, guys, we're going to go all the way back to the TV riser on the far right.
Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. This is for Sam and Xskillery. Can you just speak to the connection that you've continued to develop here these past couple of weeks where X has been able to find the end zone 4 times in 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just dates back to all the practices, you know, just getting on the same page. I mean, you know, we talk about, you know, exactly how I want the route ran. You know, so last week, you know, we caught Arizona in a cover 0 look. And I told him, hey, be ready for the ball. It's going to be cover 0. I'm just going to put it up there. So he gave a little stutter step and go. Massive play, and then, you know, come out here and catch 2 slot fades in some big-time moments, you know. So nothing but props to him and just the work that we've put in. And, you know, so I'm just super happy and proud of him.
Yeah, so Sam makes it easy. You know, he works hard, probably one of the hardest workers on the team. So when he stepped on campus, I knew I had something with him. We were, you know, by ourselves on the field, just getting our timing down, and that's with everybody from top to bottom. It doesn't matter. Sam can throw to anybody, so he makes it really easy for me. And I was just glad I'd be able to run my route. You know, we practiced that every single day. So when that ball was in the air, it was like we already repped that thousands of times before the season even started. So that was just, you know, 1,001.
It did not make it easy. I don't know if y'all saw that catch.
All right, guys, we're going to come here on the aisle. Right side, right here, second row.
Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. Xavier, this is for you. The defensive back room was incredible today, holding 2 1,000-yard receivers to minimal yardage for this game for the most part. What do you make of just the performance of your group as a whole, and then the game plan going in and how you guys are able to execute so well?
Them guys step up to the challenge each and every week. You know, us as the DBs, when we got together this summer, the way we worked, we wanted to be, you know, one of the best secondaries in the country. And, you know, we feel like we put in that work to do that. All we have to do is come out and show that throughout the season. We've been getting better and better each week, you know, all those guys, you know. And it's kind of, I want to say this too, you know, I made first team all conference, but each and every one of them guys I play with should be on that list. Like, there's no way possible that they don't make those lists. And there's no way possible I don't make that list without them. You know, they make my job easy. The way they communicate, you know, just the players they are physically, you know, Javen getting the forced fumble, coming up tackling, you know, Keith with the interception, like Tamari coming in forced fumble, you know, Ghost coming down making tackles, me making like one of the best secondaries in the country from top to bottom. So, you know, like we challenge each other throughout this summer. I challenge them a lot. You know, you can ask them myself. Sometimes it was uncomfortable. You know, DBs, you got to kind of be tight. You know, we like brothers, you know, it's just us 5 out there. So, each and every ball that's thrown, you know, behind the linebackers and D-line, that's on us. So, you know, we step up to that challenge each and every week. And 2,000-yard receivers, 3, 4, we're going to step up to the challenge each and every week. It don't matter who we play, what logo, it don't matter. I feel like we got the best secondary in the country and for sure in this conference.
All right, we're going to stay on the right-hand side and go 8 rows back in the middle.
All right, this question is for Cam. I'm just wondering, and this is Chad doing iHeartRadio, was it during camp or was there a point during the season when you knew that you had a special group, that this team had a chance to compete for a Big 12 championship? When was that moment?
When we had guys pushing other guys in a positive way. There was a time where it was very negative from last year to this year, and for some reason there was a switch that flickered. And we hit that switch, and it's been different ever since. I couldn't tell you the exact date, but there was a time where it wasn't going to go like this, and then a day later it was. And ever since that day, this team's been nothing but on the forward trajectory. And I respect that because everybody's pushing each other, and there's no negativity in the room. And that's what makes a team. No matter how much money people are making, no matter how much things are being tossed around, or names are being tossed around, or who's not getting the ball, who's getting the ball, everybody on the team's been positive. And that's why I respect Coach Dillingham because he's bringing guys in that want to play football and that love to play football. Even if they're not in the game, they have a positive attitude towards the guys that are playing.
All right, guys, we're going to go second row right here, 3 seats in, right in the middle.
Elliot Polikoff, Arizona's family. This is for Sam and Xguillory. Can you guys just talk about Cam breaking off those crazy runs? You guys have seen it all year, but he had a couple of those wild ones where he was just winding and weaving, breaking tackles, 50-yarders. I mean, what's that like for you guys just kind of on the field when that's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I got the best seat in the house. It's pretty wild. I'll hand him the ball, carry out my fake a little bit, kind of peep back, get ready for a gain of 5 or whatever. And I just see the dude kind of, weaving through some traffic and randomly busts loose and breaks one and goes for 70. So, I mean, he's the best player in the nation, flat out. Most dominant player. You want to talk about the Heisman race. You talk about a player who's the most dominant in the game, and he does that every single week in and week out against the best competition. So all props to him.
Yeah, as a receiver, I'm blocking for him. Like, it's like every game I'm blocking for him. Like, okay, cool. Oh, he's still running. Okay, I run down. Okay, there we go. Oh, my gosh, he's still running. So I'm running like 100 yards just to go block for this dude. I was at Idaho State while he was at Sac State, so we was in the same conference. So I've seen this since 2021. Like, the dude is crazy. Like, I don't understand his contact balance. Like, it's cool not to understand it because it's fun to, like he said, I got the best seat in the house. I'm literally just watching this dude run through people. Like I don't even know. I can't even compare it. Like, this dude's so much fun to watch, and I'm glad I was able to, finally team up with him and, block downfield with him. It's been all year and stuff. So, like Sam said, he's one of the best, if not the best, player in the country.
Thanks, guys.
Not very fun to see him at practice either. Not very fun.
All right, guys, we're going to go along the aisle 4 rows back.
Shahan Jarraj again from CBS Sports. This is for Xavier. You've obviously been at some places before that have lots of highly recruited kids. I mean, how does it impact a program when maybe the biggest name on the field is somebody who started his career at Sac State?
That's what, me going to places I've been, that's what people don't understand about college football. It's not the logos. It's the people in the building. It's the people in the building. Like, these people, they actually care. They're people. They have feelings. They have emotions. They're not afraid to, show that. Some places you go somewhere, people try to uphold a ego or, stuff like that. Like, everybody in this building love each other. And you can see that in our play. Like, we play like we love each other, and like I said, it's not about the logos. Like, they predicted us last. They predicted us to be last in this conference. But I guarantee you, nobody in the building thought we was the worst team in the conference. And that's because we believe in each other and we care. We see the work that we put in. Nobody sees the work that we put in. Nobody's there in June 1st, June 2nd, 3rd, July. Nobody in fall camp, day 16, 17, where me and this guy been going heads up every day and Sam been throwing at it, going against the receiver. Nobody sees that. Like, nobody sees that. And like I said, logos don't mean anything. What makes a team special is the team and the people in the building. That's why we're sitting here right now, because we believed and we continue to believe and we continue pushing through the ups and downs, through the losses, that we had, through the injuries. We continue pushing and we continue believing. And that's why, we sitting up here conference champs.
All right, we got time for 2 more questions. We're going to go second row on the far left side on the aisle.
Patrick Allen, Current News. This is for Xavier. So first, where you're like, I don't know who Cam's like, I'll say a little bit of Josh Jacobs. Second, for you, just what was the impact of just getting this one for Jordan? Obviously, you talked about how you can relate to both being in positions where having lower leg injuries that are devastating. Yeah. In this case, obviously, at the collarbone, but just getting this for him and continuing to win, knowing that he'd love to be out there. And just, was there any type of message either pre or at halftime between you and the receiver room or just the offense of, we got to get this one for him? Yeah, since last Saturday when we found out, like I said, beyond just teammates, we're brothers, and off the field, like, that's one of my best friends. We do a lot together, FCA, we go to, church together, we do Bible studies together, and, I've seen so much of JT off the field. Like, that's my brother, and we all felt that when he went down. We want to go out there and win this for him because he was the most dominant receiver in the Big 12 this year, and I wouldn't have been here without him. So we were all glad just to chip in, and glad he was here to see that. And that's one of my best friends, and I wanted to make sure that we got this win for him. And I was just glad to see him out there just coaching everybody up. He was still just as much in the game as if he was playing and stuff. So that's just a testament to who he is as a person and his character.
All right, guys, we're going to come over here, standing up on the far right side.
This question for Xavier. Last week against Arizona, after you guys won, Xavier Alford was in the press conference with a Jesus One shirt, and after your first touchdown in this game, you kind of pointed up to the sky, saying like, "It's not me, it's all God." What does it mean to be able to pronounce your faith like that in such a big stage?
Like, I'm glad you asked that. I appreciate you asking that. You know, our faith. You know, I'm just so glad that, you know, the Lord had us here for a reason, and He brought us all here for a reason. And we wouldn't be here without Him. You know, we're talented. Yes, everybody wants to, you know, when we score, cameras, all that stuff. But we know who was there when we didn't have none of this. You know, the Lord brought me through so much. I know He's brought these guys through so much. And it's just a testament to, you know, that when we, you know, show our faith, and like that's what's most important to me. I'm sure that's what's more important to these guys too, is just putting the Lord first, and our successes in the down times and in the up times. So I'm so glad I had the opportunity. Anytime I get a chance in the end zone, you know, I'm giving out to the Lord, and I appreciate you asking that question, and it means a lot to me.
All right, guys, we're going to end with that one. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. Texas to Tempe. Texas to Tempe.
The Reds to Tempe.